Last time on Thunderbird. Our intrepid adventurers were tasked to locate the druid Kyrad. Kyrad informed them that Mutton Lake was contaminated and recruited them to help finish his research to find a solution. After that, they travelled to Mutton Castle, where Kyrad's notes had been kept. Frida and Barnum, meanwhile, found a crazed cult of some ancient eldritch entity from the deep cosmos, led by a deeply disturbed halfling named Esmilia. Though she was defeated in battle, some strange item she carried whisked her away before they could confirm her death. Upon arriving at Elderspell, they travelled to the library, where they bullied a harmless apprentice, met a cute librarian, and spoke with a Ratman scholar. The group left all the paperwork and notes with the scholar, as they didn't wish to go through it themselves, and are due to return the following day.
Woohoo, laziness.
Delegating.
Yeah, pushing responsibility onto other people.
That's what grandparents are for.
Exactly.
Hello and good day one and all. You are listening to Band of Bothers, an actual play Pathfinder podcast. Only the normal amount of time has passed for you all. For us it has been well over a month since we last gathered. I am your host and GM of the game, Stephen, and introducing the players, Twermus. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Hello, I'm playing Barlam, a middle-aged rogue.
And Josephine?
Hiya, my name's Josephine. I'm playing a young half-elf druid, just starting my journey with my animal companion, Teapot.
And Pete?
I am Snork. I am a goblin wizard.
Yeah,
thing.
I think
I'm
you're a goblin
thing.
sorcerer.
Yes, and I like fire.
Yes. And last but not least, Edgar.
Hello, my name's Edgar. You can call me Ed if you really want. I'm playing Alpheus, the druid wolf shaman. He's got a Shiba Inu head. What fun.
Yes, it's as dumb as it sounds.
It's a man doggo.
Yes. You all find yourself arriving at a tavern called the Apprentice's Arms, and the sign depicts a young apprentice frowning with no arms. There is
That amused me more than it should have.
It is a medium-sized establishment, well built from the outside and fairly unassuming. Inside, however, you see it is much more interesting than it appears. Behind the bar is a middle-aged man with a bright red beard and two artificial arms made of brass and clockwork. A rag is wiping down the counter by itself whilst he's serving up a drink to a very tipsy fairy that's standing on the bar eagerly awaiting their beverage, though the glass is bigger than he is. The room is well illuminated, far more so than most taverns you visited, as magical lighting floats above you, listily drifting around the ceiling like bright fireflies. There is a stage for bards to play where a few largely transparent figures are playing a calm and relaxing melody.
I mused to myself immediately upon entering, why is this place not called Arm Prentice?
I think the people probably lacked imagination.
Yeah.
We can use his arms for fire.
Yeah, whatever happened to the guy's arms, I wonder.
Perhaps you can ask him.
That would be rude, probably.
Or why would they not call the place something handicapped something? Because he hasn't got hands.
Perhaps they're not too big on plays on words.
You could say he was quite hands-on.
Yeah.
I brought this upon myself. Jesus
It was very
Christ.
handy having this round, you know.
Should have been called the handyman.
Or if they would have betting and, horse race stuff, it could be called the arms race.
That's good.
Getting back on track.
Barlam gets to the bar where the armless man serves not arms, but Barlams.
What happens when people say to arms?
Does he get depressed with his life?
He hasn't got two. He hasn't even got one.
Arms.
Just try and pick him up with his feet and run out the bar.
The barman is giving you all dirty looks right now, as I'm assuming this entire conversation is taking place in character.
Well, I did say you're being rude.
I
however-
approach the bar and I ask for a flaming water.
Of course you do.
He nods, he understands. They do get goblins around here from time to time. Plus, I believe you're the one who actually brought the group here, so this is probably your haunt before you were kicked out of the academy.
I blurt out, what happened to your arms? I can't stand it.
He's able to stand, he just can't do a handstand.
I can't stand the tension.
I just face palm.
I can't understand it.
Wow, not the most tactful one, are you? Well, if you have to know, I was once an apprentice at the local academy. I wasn't very good at it.
Oh.
I blew my arms off. Enough said.
Ooh,
You could say you're quite armless.
that sounds awful.
Yes, it does.
Was it with fire?
You pretty much handicapped yourself.
Well, I was practicing evocation magic, and it didn't end well.
Oh, but you got a bar now and a brand.
Yeah, you actually have your own establishment. That's pretty good going.
Yeah.
He just can't raise a glass to that, though, can he?
But we can.
That's one of my greatest fears.
Let's have a round of applause.
Oh, I'm trying to picture how he's serving drinks.
He has mechanical arms.
Oh, yeah.
He has brass clockwork arms.
Oh, this is like a paid advertisement for Nintendo Switch for the ARMS game.
This is not an arms race, alright?
No, everyone knows that Nintendo basically hates the internet.
Oh, Nintendo hates money, sorry. Anyway, have you got any stiff drinks?
Yeah, do you have any darker than black tea? You know, dwarfed up tea, maybe?
Dwarfed up.
Who would be dwarfed down?
No, but is that
He clears his throat
dwarfed up?
and gestures with his eyes as two dwarves at the end of the bar give you the stink eye now. It appears that you're pretty set on offending everyone in this place today.
I'm burying both of my hands in my face.
Yeah, Frida, how about you? Would you like some dwarfed up beverages?
I am now pulling my hood over my face.
So he starts serving you up your drinks, getting some goblin fire water, something strong for Barlam, probably, I don't know, whiskey?
Vodka.
Making some tea for Alpheus, and what is Frida having?
May I have a cup of tea? Thank you.
Same as the dogman's?
Would you like alcohol in it?
No.
Fair enough, coming right up. So he turns around and goes to tend to your drinks. As you look around the bar, you notice that a lot of people are paying attention not to the rude strangers who are insulting the barman and the dwarves, but in fact a scene that's going on across the other end of the building. The people in question that you see there seems to be a large tiefling fellow, taller than a lot of you and draped in dark robes with a fire motif embroidered into them, and he's facing a young human female no older than 20 with long pink wavy hair, wearing an elegant dress of purple and golds, complete with the corset frills and long ballroom gloves.
Anyone's going to be taller than me.
Yes, that is true. If it wasn't for the fact that her dress had a slit down one side to allow for increased mobility, you would say that she belongs more in a ballroom and not in some tavern like this. It's probably better quality and more valuable than all of your clothing and belongings combined. And you see that the tiefling fellow is towering over this woman aggressively as she's standing her ground against him.
If her clothes cost the same as us, I think she's got enough money to hire some guards, and I continue drinking.
We can be their garden. Food, money, gold, woo!
I continue drinking.
If we were guards for her, she may be like, oh, you're guards for life now. I don't want to be someone's dog.
Or maybe she's aggravated the tiefling. How could we even know?
I raise my voice a bit and say, is everything okay over there?
The hooded tiefling looks over to you and shouts in a deep, gruff voice, "This is none of your business. Stay out of it!"
Oh, it's a male.
I look at the barman and say, is this kind of thing allowed here?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. There's an enchantment around the building to stop anyone from actually fighting in here. If they want to brawl, then they're gonna have to do it outside.
Right.
Oh, excellent. So what you're saying is that there is no consequences.
Not for me, anyway.
I order another drink.
Alpheus, sipping his dwarfed up drink, just walks over to the tiefling, just sort of edging his way slowly over. Do you know how, like, you've got people at the side of a bar or at a party or something and slowly sort of edging towards other people?
Sidling.
Yeah.
Yes. So, are you being discreet about it, or are you just...
discreet, yeah. Just to hear what they're saying.
Okay, roll me a stealth check. I mean, you're obviously not going to be completely hiding, it's just to be how discreet you are.
Okay.
Stealth check. Yeah, -3.
Wow.
You're
So
gonna crash into
the
them.
amount of noise you make has a significant impact on the whole noise level of the whole city.
You've pretty much tapped him on the shoulder whilst walking past. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
For the people listening at home, what he just rolled was a 3. If you thought that wasn't possible in D&D, I've never seen it until today, so this is a new experience for me.
Wait, that's worse than a nat 1, isn't it?
Well, a nat 1's a guaranteed fail, no matter how high your modifier is. What he's just done is essentially accomplish the exact opposite of what he was trying to do. So he winds up sliding past the dwarves, knocking over their drinks onto their lap, and bumping into some people who were watching, and just going, oh, excuse me, I want to see what's going on over here. And everyone's getting very disgruntled about it. And of course, you've got a very excitable wolf following you. So you've essentially drawn absolutely everyone's attention to yourself and drawn the attention of the two who were in conflict.
Is this like an inn that's got a few rooms on this level? Like a gambling room or lounge?
There's a doorway behind the bar and there's a staircase going upstairs.
Okay, right.
Yeah, the entire downstairs area is open.
I go about 20 feet away from this situation.
I just deep sigh in annoyance.
I shout to Frida, "He's your dog."
I'm trying to peer over the bar to just about see my drink.
You are given your drink as the barman is now watching to see, because if anyone knows what the Sanctuary spell does, you have to make a will check in order to be able to hit someone whilst in its effects. So it isn't a guaranteed prevention of violence.
Does that count for yourself?
Any one of you who wish to actually hurt someone whilst you're in here will have to make a will save to overcome the enchantment on the building.
Wait, so if you want to fight here, you will really have to want to fight.
You really have to want it.
Okay, right.
And as Alpheus has just strutted into the middle of this conflict, completely oblivious that that's where he's ended up, the big tiefling, like, Alpheus is pretty tall and pretty well built. This tiefling is taller and more muscular, like that of a bodybuilder. He grabs you by the scruff of your collar, is just like, what the hell is your problem? And he's about to hit you when the girl that's there puts her hand on his shoulder and then smashes his head right into the table.
Nice.
She's the one who just made the will check and overcame it. He's let go of you as he's had his head ploughed into a table, and everyone cheers as this is about to break out into a fight, and the barman is now going, "Oi, you gonna fight? Do it outside!"
You heard him.
The woman just kind of turns around and waves a bit awkwardly, going, "Sorry about that, I'll take it outside."
Alpheus just takes a sip of his tea.
I finally just about got my hands on my drink.
And so she kind of grabs the tiefling fellow and starts pulling him towards the outside to deal with this, when she notices Barlam, who is standing basically right at the door waiting to avoid this entire situation. This young pink-haired woman sees you and her face lights up immediately. She lets go of the tiefling and rushes straight over to you. "Oh my goodness, Uncle Barlam!"
I try to keep my drink between me and her. Hello.
"Oh my gosh, it's been so long!"
The
and
awkwardness.
she rushes over and gives you a big hug.
My drink.
Whilst this is going on, I'm offering to buy the dwarves drinks that were spilt over and apologise for the idiot.
Yeah, it's a crime in Dwarven culture to spill drink.
Don't mind me.
It's a good thing Frida's here to kind of calm things over. Barlam, would you roll me a d20? See if you recognise the girl, because she's calling you uncle. She seems to clearly recognise you.
6. Who are you?
You have absolutely no idea who she is.
Serena, is it?
She seems a little disheartened that you don't recognise her, and she just lets go of you and pouts.
You lost weight? Have you dyed your hair?
Yeah, but geez, Uncle, I know it's been a while, but do you seriously not recognise me? I'm Amy, the daughter of your brother Jerry.
Jerry? Who's Jerry?
Jerry's one of your brothers.
Oh.
You could roll to remember your brother.
Have you heard my backstory? I've got like 20 brothers or something.
Now it comes to you. You haven't actually seen her in about 10 years or so it's obvious why you wouldn't recognise her, because she was only 10 years old at the time.
Yeah.
But her big blue eyes kind of gives her away in the end, as you recognise her as being, of all your nephews and nieces, she was always kind of a very girly girl who loved dresses and makeup. So seeing her so well dressed really isn't a surprise, but you are looking at how she just knocked out that tiefling was a surprise. Definitely the last 10 years haven't been bad to her, I suppose.
Well, there's a few violent branches of our family who like to hit people, but hello, how have you been? I ask slightly awkwardly.
I guess it has been a long time, hasn't it? How long's it
I
been?
haven't seen you since you were 10 or something, so you...
10? Why don't you go to any of the family gatherings? Grandma's really upset that you never write to her or anything.
Say Grandma's really old.
I look at a table and the blood smears on it, and at the tiefling and then at her. You really gotta ask that. I don't like to attend violent, drunken meetings.
Alpheus comes over at that point, slightly tipsy himself, from his dwarfed up tea. Yo, Barley, who's this?
A niece.
You hear a glass smash in the background, you see water just all over me.
An Amy, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a Doge. No, this is Alpheus.
Sup.
He's a dog man.
Oh yeah, and this is my white wolf Snuffles.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute. And she kind of...
Do you mean Alpheus or the dog?
Both! They're dogs! I love dogs!
I
And she goes over and starts petting Snuffles.
So, what are you doing in Elder Spell?
Oh, I'm just working.
Smashing tieflings? Is that your new thing?
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds kind of racist. No, it's
What?
nothing
Your
nothing
new
like
thing.
that.
I meant that, are you into boxing or a bouncer or...
Oh, well, I work for a particular organisation who try to make sure that people don't use magic to destroy reality, that sort of thing. So there's weird stuff going on in this area, so I came to check it out. I ran into this big fella back here and I was just like, hey, isn't he one of those guys on our wanted list? So I looked it up and there he was. Then you walked in and your friend here kind of got in the way of everything.
As I do.
It's alright, I kind of managed to handle things quite nicely because you distracted him, so thank you.
Yeah. Although, when you say friend, and I look at Alpheus, I'm like, yeah, one day.
She leans over to Alpheus to go, I won't worry about him. He's always been a little bit grumpy. He's like, that's just the way he shows affection.
Yeah, I've kind of figured that out.
No, it's my way of showing... well, anyway.
Disdain.
I'll be seeing you around, right?
Oh,
Maybe in another 10 years, when you saved the world a few times or something?
She kind of looks a bit hurt that you're palming her off. Your family. She was so excited to see you and you just want her to go away.
I do not want her to go away. I don't know what to talk about. I've never known my family, really. I've stayed with the family, but...
Well, that's kind of your fault, isn't it? It's not that we haven't invited you to the gatherings.
Oh,
and
Barlum.
There's a lot of hitting people while drunk in our family gatherings, and that's why I don't come to them.
Come on, your mother's not that bad.
You don't know my mother. Anyway,
Grandma, she's
you
scary.
mean she smells of roses and
No, she smells of whiskey and violence,
Yeah,
but,
she
she's a
smells
lovely
of-
woman when she's happy.
Yeah, when she's happy, and that's never. Do you know where I got the grumpiness, as you said?
Because you were beaten up as a child?
Yes. No. But
Wow.
a bit. That was not Mum's fault. I was a rowdy teenager.
He's making it sound worse than he is. I mean, Grandma's a bit heavy-handed, but only when people deserve
She's a
it.
boxing champion. She is a bit heavy-handed. It's a bit understatement. Anyway, I say casually that we're here to do some druid stuff and, all kinds of corruption, sheep, and I'm a bit drunk already.
Yeah, we're actually here to stop the corruption that's happening in the land and find out something about a wizard's tower or something. I forget.
Yeah, wizards, corruption, druids, you're in the same line of work.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll tell you what, I'll just take this guy outside, send him away, and buy you all a drink and we can talk about it.
Who's this?
Barlum's niece, apparently.
I'd like another drink. Mine soaked me.
Do you know...
She sees Snork and just kind of gives you a little bow. She's like, good day, I'm Amy. Nice to meet you.
Hello. I'm soaking.
Well, his name's not Soaking, it's Snork.
I'm so the king.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. the King.
He's Snork. It's like one of those shows when you were young, Snorks.
The guy's underwater.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you mean about shows. There was some theatrical plays.
You didn't see any of the puppet shows, right?
I think I might remember some puppet shows.
Had like straws on their head.
Like there was the one about the little blue people,
Yeah.
and there was that angry wizard kind
Yeah.
of about.
Yeah,
I remember that
Smurfs.
puppet show.
This is very much in the same vein, trust me.
Yeah, I take out my pipe and go outside. I must have smokes.
Okay, so Barlam's excusing himself from the scene. Frida, the dwarves have accepted your
Formal apology of beer.
offer of buying them a new drink, and one of them uses prestidigitation to dry their clothes, so they're fine. You're able to kind of pass it off. They seem to be pretty cheerful fellows when there aren't stupid doges knocking over their drinks.
They're cheerful when they get free alcohol.
You have no idea, it's the bane of my existence.
So Amy just watches him leave. She's like, so you're all friends with Uncle Barlam? That's very strange, if you don't mind me saying so. I mean, he doesn't really make friends. How did you all meet him?
Frida and I were in a tea place called the Jaunty Mermaid, and he walked in and all.
Oh my god, was that what I called it?
Yes.
Jaunty mermaid.
He walked in and the rest is history. I think he wanted some money or something.
He needed friends.
Okay. Normally he just wants to be left alone.
He walked in with some paladin half-orc, but I mean, she's left us along the way, so who knows what happened to them before that.
Okay.
For all I know, they could be running from some sort of mobster's son or something, I don't know.
From all you know.
Uncle Barlam likes to keep a low profile. That's kind of his thing. I'm sure he'll never do anything to upset any mafia types.
Especially not those O'Nallys down in Melatitis. Anyway.
Who? Exactly.
No one.
Okay, so everyone go find yourselves a table, and I'll go catch you in a minute.
She's just getting rid of people.
Amy drags this giant tiefling out. She seems to be having a hard time, so is anyone gonna give her a hand?
When she appears with the guy outside or is trying to get him over the precipice, I just, with a pipe in my mouth, I help him in a very farmhand kind of way.
Fair enough. She thanks you and summons a giant golden owl. And
Wow.
I've seen that owl before.
She tells you to put the tiefling down, and the owl will take him to jail.
What?
Maybe overnight?
Do you understand why I feel a bit awkward around my family when they turn up like this? Anyway, I get inside a bit flustered.
Yes, you haven't met my owl yet, have you? He's what we call an eidolon. His name's Larxus, the Enthralling. Weird name, I know, but that's the way they do things on his planet. He's a giant owl, and he helps me out.
Right, and I am Shira, the Princess of Ephemeria, and I go inside.
She just chuckles. You see as she just kind of talks to the owl for a little bit, and the owl nods, takes a tiefling, and flies away.
I think she's raving mad, just insane.
You're in a city of wizards.
Yeah.
This shit is common.
Yeah, where I came from, suddenly my nieces turn up, pink-haired, smashing people and riding on giant owls. That's like being in a Harry Potter movie and being a muddle all the
You
time.
got quite muddled up.
Yeah, you mean muggle, which is somewhat suiting for Barlam considering he mugs all.
Anyway, I go inside, get to the table where our parties, partying, sigh, and sit down. Ask for another stiff drink.
I guess because we're indoors, I take it Frida and I just didn't see this golden owl at all then.
Oh, you could have seen it through the window or through the open door where...
Massive golden flash and
When he opens the door, there's a giant golden shimmering owl outside, so it's pretty hard to miss.
Okay.
all this flashiness. No subtlety anymore.
So I guess that's what Alpheus is talking about by the time Barlam joins them again. Did you see that golden owl? It's like the owl we saw at the castle. And the owl Kyrat said about.
Yeah, it is.
There used to be subtlety.
But now there are golden owls. Isn't that much cooler?
Wizards used to be not really subtle, but, you know, more subtle than this.
Yeah.
Subtle. Yeah.
Subtle.
Subtle.
Scuttle.
They used to be more shuttle than this. Space shuttle, you know.
And now the world's gone backwards. We've lost all our tech.
Anyway, more vodka, please.
As you're talking about shuckles and shuttles and subtlety, she does walk back in. She goes and has a little chat with the barkeeper for a minute or two before coming on over, and she's like, haha, sorry about that. You kind of caught me in the middle of work. Don't worry, he's going to be taken care of.
Why the pink hair?
Why not pink hair? I think it looks nice.
Okay. And he resumes drinking.
So, how do you spell Amy? Is it A-M-I-E, or are we going for A-M-Y, or A-I-M-I-E?
Or E-A-M-Y. AME.
I face palm.
It's AMY, and so you're kind of like the mum of the group, I guess.
I'm starting to feel like it.
Well, I saw the way you prevented the fight with the dwarfs. That was very good going.
Kinda had to. He was being very rude.
Uncle Barlam often keeps strange bedfellows.
Bedfellows?
What? Come on. You might be progressive, but I'm not that progressive.
Yeah, sorry Barlam, I don't see you in that way.
I definitely don't see Alafius in that way. Harumph.
Elisa, on the other hand, but that's another story.
What? No.
Every day I spend with this group, I start to feel more and more like I'm babysitting.
I'll have you know that I'm double your age, at least.
I know.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and
mean
I
I
continue
haven't
drinking.
had to babysit old people before.
Oh well.
Often the elderly need more care than the young do.
Very so.
Oh my gosh, is that a lion? She just notices the white lion now, having only paid attention to the...
It just appeared out of nowhere, I guess.
Oh, this is Teapot.
Oh
She's very friendly.
Teapot, that's such a lovely name. You're so cute. You don't look like a teapot.
Yeah, that's a funny story.
What is the story?
Yeah, what is the
Have I
story?
told you?
That's a funny story.
And they laughed.
Awkward silence.
What, I haven't told you why she's called Teapot.
No.
I can see the drop in her face, like, ha 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 ha. I haven't told you, right?
I can say this, my grandmother wasn't pleased when she was a cub and broke one of her teapots because she got a head stuck in it.
Nice.
I've heard worse reasons to name things.
I've heard worse reasons to keep a lion as a pet.
I have a chicken.
Yeah.
Snork lifts up his hat and suddenly underneath there is the fluffiest white chicken you've ever seen.
And I suddenly lift up my hat and I'm eating an actual fried chicken meal. It's so tender and fluffy.
You're not wearing a hat.
I am wearing a hat too.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, of course, I'm an old man.
The chicken's name's Beaker.
My chicken's name is Order Force Supreme.
Amy just lights up seeing the chicken and she goes over and asks if she can pet him.
I'm not going to say what I was about to say then.
If it's a chicken, isn't it a cock?
I was about to say, do you want to pet my cock?
That's so wrong.
Yeah, so that's why I stopped myself.
And you still said it.
He didn't say it in character voice. It's non-canonical. I don't have to look up her spell list to see how she'll retaliate for that.
You can pet my chicken.
Pet my rooster.
She takes Speaker, picks him up because he's small, and pets him. She's like, oh my gosh, he's so fluffy.
I've got to admit, that's a cute chicken.
You corralled us like a shepherd dog to this table to talk about what?
Just to see how you're doing. I mean, I guess you said something about you're working to try and close the rift to that alien realm that's over by the lake.
What? We never said anything like that.
Rift to an alien realm?
What?
You were talking about those sheep abominations, or what's it that that person said? The abominations.
We never talked about any sort of realm.
No, I know about that. That's fine.
Right.
She seems to know more about it than you do, actually.
Yeah.
It seems like we need to collaborate what we've both learnt in order to try and work out what's going on, because my master who taught me druidism sent me to the lake to look for a friend of his who had not been in contact for some time, and we encountered some quite interesting things, to say the least, and it seems to be completely spread with corruption. We've basically been going from there to look into what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes, so you've met Kyrad, have you?
Yes, thankfully, he was fine, although he was holed up in a fortified location in the middle of town. He's okay, but we're currently trying to help him deal with the problem.
So, Kyrat, being holed up in Arrowbrook, sent us to Mutton Castle to find some notes of his findings, basically up until the point he left for Arrowbrook, and it's led us here because, well, there was a few things. There was some wizard's tower on there we didn't know who it belonged to, and yeah, here we are, trying to find out things.
It seems like we've been kind of doing the same thing then. I mean, I went to help out Kyrad, I read through his notes at the castle, and then I went to the lake, and I've only just confirmed that there's this rift that's causing this problem. I believe that the rift is somewhere inside that mage tower by the lake. I'm guessing whoever owns the tower must have been responsible for opening it, and probably fled once the alien monstrosity started pouring out, and sealed the tower to keep them from escaping.
Oh, so the tower tower's sealed?
Yeah, that's why I came here, to try and find a way to unseal it.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, if he opened a rift that he couldn't close, he should have called the Rift Wardens. That's literally our job. I'm a Rift Ward, by the way.
But they've not been the Rift Busters.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's very Ghostbusters there.
Rift
Busters!
I think it might sound a bit too much like that theatre group that goes around busting myths.
Or rifts.
I think there might be a bit of a copyright or trademark thing there, so probably best to keep your own identifiable brand. You wouldn't want to basically make your brand the same as something else, but like one word different, wouldn't you?
Huh.
Oh, well.
That is a joke because we're called Band of Bothers. That's exactly what we did.
You have skills in punching men's and sending them to Awel prisons, and also in brand managing. It's very impressive.
Well, I learned magic. During the time I wound up meeting Larxis, I formed a pact with him, and that kind of really helped get my magic going.
Now he looks like a concerned parent when she says, I entered a pact with him.
Yeah, then I eventually managed to join the Rift Wardens associated with the Temple of St. Melina, which, you know, my dad, Jerry, he's always been rather religious, and our church was affiliated with the Rift Wardens, and they saw my magical aptitude, so one thing led to another. I've been going on fun adventures across space with them.
So you met a young owl and you've joined a cult.
No, it's a legitimate
And you
religion
dyed
and
your
a proper
hair.
organization.
Right. So it's the Church of Scientology.
Since the one character who actually had knowledge of religion is gone, most of you probably don't know anything about it, but St. Melina is one of the churches affiliated with arcane magic.
Okay.
Right.
It's typically found in places where a lot of magic users gather, so Snork, you probably know it because they'll have some kind of temple or church or affiliation with Elderspell, because it's an academy for magic users, so they'll have a presence here.
I got a 20.
Yeah, you definitely know about them. Hell, you might have been affiliated with them yourself at one point. The Church of St. Melina is affiliated a lot with magic and making sure that people don't do stupid things with it, because they kind of care a lot about the welfare of normal people and families and stuff. They have like an organization within their church called the Rift Wardens, who travel around closing off rifts to either other parts of the universe or closing off rifts to where the demons are. That's kind of the main bulk of their job, is stopping demons from coming out, closing their rifts. Their biggest enemy are the group called the Blackfire Adepts, who their attire strongly resembles the tiefling she just beat up. They essentially can create a fire that's known as Blackfire that can kind of burn a hole in reality, and often that's how demons can escape. So if they find Blackfire Adepts anywhere, they stop them.
So my question is, if you know that the tower is full of them demons, why don't you contact the Rift Wardens to close it off?
Well, I only just found out. I came here to go report it because Elderspell's the closest place with a temple, so it's kind of what I came here to do.
Okay.
To see who else are in the area who would give me a hand and get into that tower and close that rift.
What, you have to do it yourself?
Well, it's kind of my job. I would probably get some reinforcements first. Since you lot are involved, maybe you could help.
With demons?
Oh, it's not demons, this is aliens.
Right.
You talked about the sheep, you saw them, like the tentacles and eyes and things.
Yeah,
It's
and I
like,
don't want to repeat seeing those.
if we close the rift, that puts a stop to it.
Yeah, we'd be helping nature and maybe we can get some rewards out of it, right? He says, hinting. Rewards?
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, of course I get paid for my job, and if you're helping, then
Would
you'd
this
get paid.
help stop the devastation around the lake?
Well, it would stop it from getting any worse.
Yeah, I certainly would have thought so.
If the taint is coming from the rift, then closing the rift will close the taint. I mean, what's already here will still be here, but then it becomes a cleanup operation as opposed to trying to stop it from getting any worse.
It sounds like this is what we need to do, Alpheus.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, yeah, you and Alpheus. Yeah, for sure.
But if for the reward, surely you'd be tempted, Barlam? Temptation.
But what if
Rewards.
the other side of the reward is that I become a corrupted sheep thing or something? If we fail?
I haven't seen any humans who have been affected by it yet.
Or killed by it?
Well, there is that.
So it's a might be dangerous, isn't it?
But if we don't don't do anything about it, then eventually it's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, but...
The way I see it, don't we have time to kill anyway until we go back to the library?
I'll recall what my mum said as a wise person when she was a bit more lucid and not drunk. Don't let the farmhand repair the axe. Leave it to the smith or something like that. Do you know how it could be applied to this situation? There's going to be some people who are more adept at doing this than us.
There are 2 druids here.
That would definitely help. I haven't gotten a look at the rift. I don't know what it's going to take to close it, but this is unnatural power, and then we've got 2 people who utilize nature power that might help balance the scales a bit.
There's a lot of mights and ifs in here. If there's a big enough reward, or maybe I don't want to get killed by an invasion of sheep.
Well, you handled yourself well against the past, Bleethings.
He shudders a bit. Oh, well, maybe I'm just drunk. Very well then, carry on.
What about you, Snork? Would you be willing to help? I know that fire tends to work quite well at killing alien abominations.
Yes, I followed the party. I got nowhere else to go.
Okay, well, that's wonderful.
That's wonderful. I've got nowhere else to go. That's wonderful.
He just goes headlong into danger with nothing to care.
Great. You said you've got something to do at the library?
Yeah, well, we're waiting on someone to sort of finish looking into something for us.
What was it?
Wasn't it Kyrat's notes that we handed over?
Kyrad's notes and the notes that Barlam stole from the cult.
Yeah, they were given to the rat guy. They were given to Splinter.
Master Splinter.
Yes. Oh, Master Splinter.
Oh, Master Splinter.
Oh, well, that sounds like it's associated with what we're doing. So when did he tell you to come back?
I can't remember.
Me neither.
No.
He said to come back tomorrow. It's evening now, so you're basically going to sleep on it.
Speaking of sleep, I could take a nap, and he falls down sleeping after about 8 shots of vodka.
Does he normally drink this much?
No.
A fair bit.
I don't know.
He smokes more than he drinks.
Can I have my chicken back now, please?
Oh, yes, sorry. She gives you Beaker back.
Seem quite comfortable in your arms.
He lives in my hat.
Alpheus, seeing Barlam sleep, puts out his tongue and licks Barlam's ear. He'll wake up eventually. So, if we were to help, when should you leave for this tower?
Well, I haven't found a way to get in yet.
Ah,
He sealed it with magic and stuff, so
so that's first then.
I start poking Barlam.
perhaps we'll get some information that'll be useful on the notes from the scholar.
Oh, so we have to wait. Okay.
Poke, poke.
It's a bit late to be going out now.
Well, maybe we should meet again tomorrow then.
Okay, yes. Shall I meet you at the library then?
Sure thing.
Can I do a perception check to check if this person is actually who they say they are and
That would be a sense motive check.
Yeah, I got 8.
Oh, no.
Doesn't matter then.
You can't really tell. I mean, you may not have had much experience dealing with pink-haired girls or something, but seems on the level to you.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
No, Otacon, no.
Metal Gear. Metal Gear.
Before they part in that case, Alpheus would like to sniff Amy because, you know, it's a general custom of his for anyone new. And he starts sniffing her a bit
Oh.
with perception.
What are you trying to perceive?
What her scent is.
If she smells funny.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You've gone up to this young woman and started sniffing her?
Yeah.
This isn't weird at all.
It's like, don't mind me.
I'm sleeping, so I can't intervene.
She seems quite uncomfortable about this, but she smells nice, I guess. She's washed and deodorant, perfume or
Deodorant?
whatever. I don't know.
Did you know that some dogs can actually smell if someone has cancer?
She doesn't have cancer.
You smell like cancer.
So does she have cancer?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, that's good. Does she have any drugs on her? Does she have any bombs on her?
No.
Is she ready to
Mingle.
procreate?
Is she on heat?
She ovulating, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. But
I am uncomfortable with this question.
yeah, so let's stop this fucking thing and go onward.
Yes, please.
It reminds me of the thing out of Chronicles of Riddick where he's like, oh, yeah, they can smell blood or something. So one of them's like dressed up as a boy and it's that time of the month so they can smell the blood. Yeah. It's just like the dog's like...
You smell like roses. So Alpheus sits back down after that.
But roses really smell like poo-oo-oo.
Yeah, roses smell like poop if they're well tended to.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
It was your choice to come and meet up with me. I'm still asleep.
It was all a dream.
She puts your hand in a bottle of warm water.
I react in no way whatsoever.
Did she actually buy us all drinks again?
Yes.
Oh, I managed to pour that one down myself as well.
What is wrong with you?
I'm a tiny little goblin. I can't reach. I sit in a stool.
You've got big hands. Goblins have big hands.
I can't see atop the bar. So I'm like,
You're at a table. They could get you a kiddie booster seat.
oh.
Goblin booster seats.
They could get like a bunch of cushions and prop you up. This is a world where halflings, gnomes, goblins, and dwarves coexist amongst humans. Of course, they take consideration to those shorter races.
Do they?
I would hope so.
Going back to what I said, I blame the dog for knocking my drink over, and I do shifty eyes. The wolf did it.
Snuffles.
Snuffles.
Amy is doting on Teapot and Snuffles again.
And I wake up. Where?
Barlam,
No.
are we staying here for the night? Where are we staying?
I look at Alpheus's face and I deduct something immediately. Were you sniffing Amy? Even while I was sleeping, I can deduce it from his eyes and his expression. Were you sniffing?
Maybe.
If you do that again, you will not eat for 3 days. Yeah, so I think we're gonna sleep here.
Okay.
What, at the table?
No, you goblin. And that's just the truth. It's nothing racist. No, in this inn, in this establishment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Barlam. It was very weird.
So we'll see you tomorrow, yeah?
I'm pretty much just trying to train him out of that habit, not helping you. Anyway, I'm gonna rest and we'll meet up tomorrow, right?
Yes, at the library. You were sleeping at the time when we talked about it.
Yeah, I heard most of it because you guys are loud as heck.
Back in the hat.
It's like a farm.
We're just a walking farm.
Walking farm circus.
A farm circus.
A circus.
A ficus.
Okay, so I assume that means you're all going to get yourselves rooms at this here inn.
And I order myself a room. Or actually, is Amy paying?
She can. She bought you drinks. So.
That's a
Yeah, we're kind of low on money though. Oh no, we have.
She's clearly flaunting her wealth and she's part of a paying organization. So I think the least she can do, if we're going to help her, is arrange our boarding.
Didn't think she was flaunting her wealth. She bought you drinks. It's kind of
Well,
courtesy.
you started her description by saying her dress is worth than any of our gear combined. I think that's flaunting.
Yeah, it's said to show just how much she gives a shit about the clothing she wears.
How much money she has.
She cares a lot about that.
Yeah. I go upstairs, take a key for the room and tell the bartender she's paying.
Fair enough. So everyone heads to their rooms for the night. You're all given separate rooms. Can everyone make a perception check for me, please?
Perception time.
27. Wow.
19
Smash.
and a 20.
11. Oh, wait, hold on,
11.
Oh, Goblin knew you were going to say that.
11.
11.
11.
You have a +3 on yours, so yours was 14.
Yay.
Alpheus, you got a crit, so let's start with you first. You go to your rooms, they're completely normal, nothing weird about them in any way, and you settle down for the night. It's the middle of the night, you've all managed to go to sleep, somewhat easier for some than others. Like some who have been downing whiskey will probably settle into sleep quite comfortably, and you sleep well for several hours until Alpheus, you hear the sound of a gentle tapping at your door.
Alpheus' ear kind of twitches and does a radar thing first, and then Alpheus sort of opens his eyes and goes, "Who is it?"
Hello, room service. I was requested to bring a platter of sausages and bacon to this room. Are you awake, sir?
Alpheus is immediately suspicious of this because he remembers Barlam's words very well from that Saggith woman.
You'd be in a different room to me because I'm not sleeping in the same room as Doggo Man.
Oh, everyone's in their own rooms.
Yeah, but I made it very clear to Alpheus that one night that not to trust old women.
He did. Made it very clear.
Very, very clear. Adamantly clear.
Yeah, he shoved his hand basically down his throat.
So Alpheus gets out of his bed and goes to the door to make sure it's locked and goes, "I didn't order any sausages."
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to come in anyway, so please don't be alarmed.
That's a bit disconcerting.
Like, is the door locked?
It is locked, and you watch as the lock, which is on your side of the door, starts to slowly slide open.
That's creepy as fuck room service. There can't be any creepier room service ever.
Alpheus, spotting this, decides to bolt under the bed. pretend to hide.
Oh my god. Please make a stealth check.
A stealth check. I was hoping it was disguise.
Oh no.
2.
I was going to
Ooh.
say you're taking a penalty for this because it's a terrible hiding spot, but yeah, you rolled a 2. Let's play this out.
He takes the bedding off the bed just to like cushion himself between the edges of the bed and such from under it.
From under the bed, you're able to see as the door now slowly swings open and there's only a faint light in the room. I believe you have low light vision, so you should be able to
I do.
see all right. You see as the old crone from the other night about a week back steps into your room carrying a platter of freshly cooked sausages and bacon. Snuffles immediately wakes up, excited at the delicious smells, and she just looks directly under the bed where you, being quite tall and muscular, you're kind of poking out slightly, and the bedding that you've pulled under with you is poking out slightly. There's like a foot sticking out to the side. You're hiding about as well as my 6-year-old would, only you're about 4 times her size. Hello again, Alpheus dear. I saw what happened last time we met, when that horrid thief you keep in your company stole that sandwich I gave you, so I thought this would make it up. And she puts the platter down on the side.
It's okay. He's not a thief. He's just a dashing rogue.
He doesn't like being called a rogue.
No, I don't like being called a thief. That's my thing.
You stole his sandwich.
Don't mind me. I kind of like sleeping under beds. They're comfortable.
She sees your apprehension at her presence and keeps a respectful distance from you. I had hoped that we would be able to speak further about what we discussed last time we met. Have you given it any more thought, dear?
What about my 27 perception?
Oh, you'll have stuff in a minute. When this is happening, there's stuff happening at the exact same time in your room, so
Right.
in everyone's room, so you'll be getting your own thing.
No, but I was just wanting to intervene.
Yeah, I can only roleplay one scene at a time, and you're gonna be a bit too busy.
I have thought about it, Mother Saggy.
Oh no.
Is that what I called her?
Wow.
Jesus,
Mother Sagath.
I am bad at names.
I wouldn't go that far. Even though I stole that sandwich and called her a hag, I would not go Mother Saggy.
You said you needed a druid. Look, I'll be honest. You coming to me in the middle of the night does seem a little bit suspicious. Balaam has pointed this out to me in the past, and yeah, okay, you brought amazing pork sandwiches that are so alluring. But I mustn't. My duty is here with Frida and Balaam and Snork. We're on our own journey.
Oh, and what is it that you're trying to accomplish, my dear?
We're trying to cure the land of its horrible disease. I don't know if you've noticed all the bleating's about.
Have you not considered that maybe things are better off the way that they are? The sheep that were once weak and just waiting for the butcher are now strong enough to defend themselves. Animals are coming into their own and showing such unique traits. I mean, no 2 squirrels are the same anymore.
No, they're abominations.
What one calls abominations and other might refer to as blessings.
Look, I'm not sure your company is particularly wanted here. I'm sorry. Alpheus gets up from under his bed at that point and towers over Mother Sagath. I'm just like, please leave. I don't want to cause you any harm.
He can feel the good dog pats coming in. He can feel them.
It sounds to me like you're really trying to friend zone her and it's just not going well.
Yeah.
Roll an intimidation check.
Okay.
Snuffles is there growling, so you get a +2 on that.
Okay, so 11.
He's aiding you, but that's an 11. So
11.
she just...
You are too polite.
She looks a bit dejected and sighs. She's like, it is such a shame you can't see things my way, my dear. If you would just open your mind to the possibilities. And she just puts her hand on your arm, just gently.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
And roll a will save, please.
No.
This is where you want to roll good.
8.
You are the worst at rolling things.
I know.
In every game group, there is always one person who can't roll well.
It's the Wheaton curse.
Exactly, the Wheaton curse. Alpheus, you have been charmed. You feel that this woman is your friend, and you view what she says favourably, but you're still completely free to do and act as you see fit.
Okay. Alpheus kind of smiles as she touches his arm after a few seconds and goes, but what about that Esme girl?
Esme is damaged, as one might say.
Damaged goods, eh? Get a replacement for that.
She exposed herself to something she wasn't ready to see. I'm trying to help her, but she's ill, and it takes time.
Maybe I can help her.
Well, perhaps you'd consider just coming along. Perhaps you could use your wondrous druid skills to help her get better, and maybe you could see the good work that we're doing.
Now, Steve, like, in terms of being charmed, how far can I go with my own sort of actions without being influenced?
Like I said, you view what she says favourably, but you still think that what's happening to the surrounding area is horrible. You do still think that there are abominations and everything, but when she says that she's doing good work and that you just need to consider things from her point of view, coming from her, it doesn't seem as crazy as it once did.
Okay. You said you could help me find my memories, right? That's what you said before.
Why, yes I could. Anyone who knows anything about the animus fruits know that when it changes you, it's a stressful time for the person, and the damage it does to one's mind isn't permanent. Their memories can be restored, but it happens to every animus.
Oh.
And with the right prompting, and with a little bit of magic as well, you can regain your former identity and find all that it is that you've lost.
Oh. Do I have to give an answer now?
Time is running out for us, I'm afraid. Things are moving quite quickly in an unfavourable direction. I could give you till the end of the night, and in the morning I will need an answer.
Okay, let's do that.
That is the most I can give, thank you. And with that, she will nod her head and leave the room.
Okay, cool. Alpheus sees her leave, looks at the pork products, is about to go and eat them, but then Barlam's like strong voice at the back of the head telling him not to, puts him off them, and he throws them out the window.
That's a tantrum.
A local hobo gets hit by meat.
And you get that feeling of good boy.
Yeah, that fuzzy feeling in his heart.
That's just the...
That's just heartburn.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to Barlam next, as he also aced his perception check. So, Barlam,
Sleeping.
you, despite having been in a fairly deep and comfortable whiskey-induced sleep, you hear something in your room, and your highly honed danger senses immediately wake you up, ready to act.
I've got a short sword in my hand which is by my bed, and I'm like, what is here? Who's here?
Are you saying that, or are you looking?
I say that quietly.
The room is silent, but you definitely heard that there is someone or something in the room with you.
I'm on my bed, crouching there, sword in hand.
Sorry.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you keep that perception check you rolled because it was a damn good one. You see a figure who is dressed in blacks, dark browns, that sort of dark colours to blend into the shadows, and you see them hiding. They had been creeping up towards you in the bed, and the moment that you said something, they hid, and your perception being high enough, you can see them. They do have a dagger in their hand.
I lunge toward them immediately.
Alright.
Do I get a sneak attack?
Yes, you can. You roll an attack roll. This is a surprise round, so they're caught flat-footed.
Okay.
They weren't expecting you to lunge.
Oh, I actually do have a masterwork rapier. Can I use that?
Go right ahead.
So...
You sleep with that thing?
No, it's beside my bed.
Okay.
9 to hit.
This is Barlam we're talking about. He's obviously very paranoid. You lunge at the shadowy figure who manages to see you just at the last second and move just enough to avoid you piercing him. You manage to cut a bit of their clothing, but that's about it as they rise up their dagger and get ready to attack. And yeah, I guess we're rolling initiatives here.
Right. 24.
Nice.
As he hasn't still struck, can I still get a sneak attack?
Yes, he hasn't had his turn yet, so it's your go again. He managed to dodge your blow, and he raised his weapon ready to fight, but it's your go again. You're very quick.
So that's 19 and a 2, and with a sneak attack, that's plus 2d6. Is it no 1d6 because I'm second level rogue? Oh, third level?
I'm pretty sure you're third level now, aren't you?
We're level 3.
Okay, right.
So you're a third level rogue, you get 2d6.
So that's a total of 8 damage.
After dodging your attack and you pull your rapier back, he doesn't expect you to strike as quickly as you do, and you manage to catch him off guard. Your rapier manages to pierce him deep, and you've definitely struck him and dealt a decent amount of damage. He's not dead, but he is definitely worse for the wear and wasn't expecting that at all.
So basically, if I still got my move because I haven't moved, can I do like a tumble to feint or, get some bonus to AC or something?
Yes, you can.
Roll under his leg legs and, disorient him.
Yeah, or leap back over the bed, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, you can try to get yourself cover with some of the furniture.
Acrobatics 23.
What does he roll against that?
I'd say like sense motive.
Okay. Yes, you managed to definitely dodge around him, get round behind him, and push a bit of furniture in the way to slow him down and give yourself some cover. As you're running past the assassin-y figure now, clearly quite frustrated by this lack of progress that he's making, tries to throw a dagger. You, of course, have partial cover.
Well.
Daggers have a crit range of 19, don't they?
Yeah.
So he has to roll again to confirm. He doesn't confirm, but he does hit. So you knock the desk over to give yourself cover and leap over it, and just as you're leaping behind it, a dagger hits you in the hand. It isn't going to do considerable damage, but it will hurt. What's daggers? 1d4? So yes, you take 3 damage, and he now tries to run towards you, pulling another dagger out to close the distance and continue the fight.
So, because I've got fast stealth, can I do such a trick that because I disappeared from one angle to him, can I appear from a weird angle because I'm still behind the desk and then throw his dagger back at him as a sneak attack?
I'll allow it if your stealth's high enough, yes.
That's 16.
You do have partial cover. You get to make an opposed perception check. Yeah, he's not very good at his job, it would seem,
So I'm gonna throw a dagger, which he threw at me.
You got to stealth on that, so he's counted as flat-footed, so that hits.
That's 6 damage total.
What did you hit him for in the first
8,
round?
so that's 14 total.
Okay. Oh my god. He is nearly down. So you dive behind the desk and you make it seem like you're about to jump out on his left, but you manage to come out on his right and throw the dagger, plunge it into his side as you rush past. He sees you again, but you've managed to pull some distance as you've moved to the other side of the room now.
Stop attacking or you'll die, I say.
He is bleeding heavily as he's got a deep puncture wound from your rapier in his gut and his own dagger plunged in his side.
You will die.
Make a diplomacy check.
Or intimidation.
Or intimidation. I'll give you a +2 to it.
Okay, so that's a total of 29. So that's a 20.
You got a crit. Okay.
Yeah.
The guy is on 1 health. He looks at you, holding his wounds, holding his dagger in his other hand, just breathing heavily, drops his dagger to the floor, and he goes, I surrender.
I get close to him. Who do you work for?
I was sent by someone that you know. Someone who you upset.
Oh, so it's Esmeralda, and then I kill him. Just stab the rapier through his throat.
Blah! Coup de grace. Yeah, he had 1 hit point. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to make you roll that.
And I wipe my rapier on his clothes.
That was going on at the exact same time that Alpheus was having his little chat. That took you all of 12 seconds. So I'm going to have to vamp over to Frida for a second, and you get to interrupt far sooner than intended.
Fucking assassins. Always disrupting my sleep, giving me insomnia and heartache.
Frida, what did you roll for your perception check?
I think it was 17.
Yeah.
Okay. Esmelia, obviously you went down to sleep quite comfortably, everything all hunky-dory.
Did you just call her Esmelia?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Frida, yes, you wake up to feel a strange presence in your room. Teapot is fast asleep, but you get the sense that there's someone or something right at the foot of your bed. With your half-elven low-light vision, you are able to see from the thin sliver of light filtering through the curtains the creepy visage of Esmelia sitting cross-legged at the end of your bed by your feet with a huge grin on her face. Hello, Frida. Surprised to see me again?
Uh-oh.
Let's think. I grab my staff, which is next to my bed, and scream.
Barlam, this will have happened pretty much right as you've stabbed the guy in the gut. You've shoved your sword into the gut of the assassin. This was your first round of combat when you heard Frida scream.
Yeah.
Alpheus, you will actually be hearing this right around the time that you get charmed, so whilst you'll hear it, you've kind of got other things. Snork, you wake up, and we'll deal with you in a minute. No, the scream will wake you up. So, Frida, you've grabbed your staff and screamed, and Esme will lunge at you to try and silence you. So, you...
Need to make an attack roll with my staff.
She's attacking you first, so what's your combat maneuver defense?
Let's see, where's my sheet?
CMD.
I'm going to put... There it is.
As a halfling, she gets a penalty to her combat maneuver bonus, so you should have an edge on this.
Combat maneuver defense.
It is 12.
Oh, okay.
Because you've got a really low strength score, so. She manages to grab you by the throat and apply a good amount of pressure to it. She just grins. She's like, that was very foolish. Now, I'm here to talk to you. Don't try that shit again, or I will have to hurt you.
What about the lion, though?
The lion's asleep.
Oh, okay.
Why is it still asleep? I just screamed.
Yeah. As you look to see why Teapot hasn't awoken, Esme just grins wickedly. Oh, Frida, there's no need for your concern. I do not wish to fight, and your kitty is quite fine. I just put a little hex on her to make sure she doesn't wake up and interrupt. She'll wake up soon enough, and she'll be right as rain.
She's talked for about 30 minutes now.
It's not 30 minutes. It's been about 2 rounds. You have just finished killing your guy. Christ almighty, you really do not like giving me a chance to speak. But yes, Barlam, you have finished killing your guy. You've heard Frida scream. Snork, you have also heard Frida scream. So you've had a chance to wake up. Are you going to do anything, Snork? Or are you going to just stay in your room and go, not my problem?
Clumsily, I tumble out of bed. The chicken goes flying across the room.
How charming.
I stumble at the door, and now I'm at the door.
Snork and Barlam both open their doors into the hallway at the same time. You do know which room Frida's in, so you will be able...
No, it was Frida. I'll go. Come on.
Okay, you rush over to the door in her room, and Frida, there's now rattling at your door. The door is locked.
I kick it.
Okay, Barlam, roll a,
Disable device.
Yep, disable device check. And Esme gets 1 round to say something before you break in, and hearing the commotion outside, she looks very angry. She's like, that old man, Barlam.
I'm 31. I'm not old.
Yes, give me a second. Stop interrupting. Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Woo!
Again.
Again?
He keeps foiling my plans. He will pay for this mockery, but can't do anything now. I'll be back. And right as the door opens, you see her let go of Frida and try to jump out the window. Frida, you get an attack of opportunity from this. She's gonna try and leap out of the window like a Monty Python sketch. She does not want to tangle with Barlam again.
What do I roll?
An attack roll with your quarterstaff.
I know, but what dice?
D20.
Oh.
She does not like Barlam very much.
Can I cast a spell?
No, an attack of opportunity is like something you do in a split second, like someone turns their back on you, so you stab them in the back.
I know.
Swing a spell, you go hardy blah-de blah-de blah, wave my hands around. So I'm afraid you swing and miss, and Barlam and Snork you see as this halfling woman leaps through the window in a comedic display of getting the fuck out of here.
Do you know what?
Can they trip on their way out and fall and break their neck?
Yeah, can they do that?
Well, I guess you'll have to make an acrobatics check to see how well she gets through the window.
No, but what I was going to say is that I've got a shirt that lets me upgrade a swift action to a move once per day, and I'd like to rush after her, like really super fast. I'm going to fall on that with a rapier.
Got a 13 on going out the window.
So, what's it your item does? The quick runner's shirt.
Quick runner shirt, it can upgrade a swift action to a move action once per day.
Okay, considering that you're trying to catch up to her, I think it's going to be a simple matter of you both roll initiative. If you're higher than her, then you'll get her just as she's trying to go out the window.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Like, I'm just making sure that you understand that I'm willing to jump after her.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, initiative is 9.
And she rolled very well. So she does jump out the window, but you get there straight after. So if you're going to jump out the window, roll an acrobatics check.
Oh, shit.
That's an 11.
You only needed a 10, you're fine. You're on the first floor. It wasn't the most graceful of falls, so...
Not every jump after sleeping can be graceful.
Let's see, what's the rule? 1d6 for every 10 foot of falling, I think.
But if she softens my fall...
She rolled very high on her acrobatics. She got out and just kept going.
Oh, well.
You take 2 damage from a less than elegant jump, but you didn't break your legs or anything, so you're able to keep going. And she is off.
Yeah, so how far am I from her?
Being a halfling, she has a reduced movement speed, but being a monk, I think that increases. What's her movement speed as a monk? Oh, same as yours as a human, so she's not that good of a monk.
Right, so if she's going to try and run away, I'm going to stab her.
I think since this is less battle and more of a dynamic chase, we're going to just play this by ear. You're both going to be running. You're running at the same speed, but because you have your quick runner shirt, you're able to sacrifice a swift action to easily catch up. So after that, it's going to be more of a skill check challenge where she's trying to get away and you're trying to get hits on her.
Oh, I'm actually going to try and tackle her.
Okay, I'll allow that because with your first round, you're able to move at double your speed because of your vest.
I'm going to try and tackle her.
That will be a combat maneuver B.
Jesus.
5.
I can't roll high now.
Okay, Barlam rushes and tries to tackle this little girl because that's what she looks like, a little child. It's certainly not creepy that there's a middle-aged man chasing a small girl through the streets in the middle of the night. You try to grab her, and she manages to leap through your arms before you're able to close and grab her, and she keeps going. She is going to make a bluff check to try and shake you by feigning what direction she's going. So make a sense motive check. Like I said, we're just going to roll off against each other.
22.
22. Christ, she's going to need a good bluff for this. And... oh, yes, she's mentally deranged. She's not good at this at all.
I got that quite early on.
Okay, she thinks that she's going to be really clever and makes an attempt to dive down one alleyway and then very obviously steers around to go down another alleyway. You follow her with ease. So, she's still ahead of you, but you are right on her tail. You are easily within dagger throwing distance. She hasn't managed to pull away yet.
So if she's running, if she's doing full move, does she lose dex bonus to AC?
I don't know.
Well, if she's running, she would, but if she's just moving...
Her whole gimmick was that when fighting, she uses her martial arts to pretty much deflect attacks. She's not fighting, so she's not going to have that gimmick going for her right now.
Okay, so do I have my bow?
I think you have your rapier.
Yeah, and a dagger, yeah, in my boot. Okay, so I'm just going to rush her, charge without rapier.
Okay.
So that's +2 to attack.
Okay.
So that's 13 to attack. If she's running, she doesn't get a dex bonus. Or her monk bonus.
Let's counter as flat-footed for that then.
Yeah.
Die, Esme, die.
Yeah.
Nasty bitch.
Yeah, she is. You said it.
Cheers.
Hence me trying to kill her.
Okay, that is a hit.
And if she loses her dexterity bonus, it's a sneak attack.
Yep.
That's 12 damage. Stab!
Nice. As she's trying to escape you in the alley, you're right behind her.
And I'm poking her.
Towering over her is she's just, like I said, she's a little girl. And you just shove your sword straight in her back. And you hear her cry out in a weird combination of pleasure and pain.
Let's not dive deeper into that.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
She's going to die.
Like I said, she's a bit fucked in the head. So with that, she's going to spin around and try to use Stunning Fist on you.
So is that an initiative then?
Well, we're taking turns.
Oh.
She was going to run, but you just shoved a rapier in her back, so she's just going to try and stun you.
Okay.
And then keep running.
Yeah, that's AC 15.
AC 15. She hits. You need to make a... what is it?
Fort save.
A fortitude save.
That's a 1.
Okay, you are stunned for 1 round. You take... what's an unarmed attack's damage? That doesn't really
is
matter.
Is it D6 for her or D4?
It's a D6 for being a monk. So you take 3 damage.
Didn't really hurt, but other.
Yeah, she basically spins round and nut shots you and then keeps going.
Oh.
But I can still run after her.
Yeah, like I said, she's slowed you down a bit, but she's going to keep going. So you're stunned, she pulls away, and then you keep going. So she's managed to get some distance. How do you close it?
I use all of my strength to run headlong after her. Ah! Fuck you, Esme. Fuck you. I just run.
That sounds like an opposed dexterity check, would you say?
Yeah, acrobatics. So.
I'm going to say flat dexterity, because you're not trying to do fancy footwork. You are just going as fast as you can.
That's a 21.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it was acrobatics, she would probably have the edge there, so you want this.
Did she roll a 1?
No, but it wasn't good. You're starting to close the gap, but you're not within attacking range yet.
With my rapier, I shout after her, "You are gonna die!" And she's still got that wound.
Yes.
I bet at this point Esme's thinking, oh, I should never have gone into that room.
Yeah, exactly. There's many a times in a young woman's life when she thinks, I shouldn't have done that. This is one of those times. Disturbing a middle-aged guy's vodka dreams. Never again.
Okay, so she is going to try and make an acrobatics check and get up onto a rooftop to try and pull away.
That's a climb, though.
She's doing it by jumping.
Oh.
Jumping off her box onto a windowsill, onto a drain pipe, that sort of thing.
Oh, can I do the same then?
You can do the same. So
Yay.
that's what she's going to do in her round and pull away.
15 for me.
You both managed to get up. She's still ahead of you, but she hasn't managed to pull away.
If she's done climbing and she's still trying to move away parkour, I'm gonna follow parkour, but I'm gonna throw away a roof tile at her.
Howl out.
Right.
Make
So
an
that's-
improvised ranged weapon attack.
So that's 19 plus 5.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, that'll hit. Roof tiles are pretty hard, so roll a d6.
Is it a sneak attack because she's parkouring?
She was not expecting it, so yes.
Oh yeah.
So basically, it's either like a frisbee or a shuriken.
Bam! Oh, 16 damage.
God.
16 damage.
Oh my gosh! She really doesn't like you, Barlam.
I don't like her either.
The feeling is mutual.
All I can think about is the scene in The Avengers where he grabs Loki and the Hulk's just going bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but a roof tile hits her, the back of her head or something.
Do you throw it like a frisbee or over the top?
I throw it like a dart throw, over the head, just release it.
Oh, so you don't make it curl it into your bicep and throw outwards like one of those card tricks?
No, I'm just gonna do a really sharp old angry man throw.
Yeah, you throw the tile and it spins and spins and spins and hits her in the back of the head and shatters as she stumbles forward. There's blood oozing out the back of her head now.
I'm still running after her.
And she stumbles, stops, and gives you just the most disgusting look she can muster. And finally, she takes herself a combat stand. She can't escape, so she's gonna go down fighting.
Is she on the edge of the roof?
She's, I'd say, more in the middle of the roof.
Anyway, I'm gonna stab her.
But you're running towards her, and she's taken her snake-style stance.
Right, so what I would do... I have my rapier. I'd like to run towards her, but at the last moment, slide to her left and, past her and stab her in the leg.
So you're going to try and make a bluff check to...
Feint, yeah.
Okay, she gets an post-sense motive check.
That's a 26 for bluff.
This is her jam, so she doesn't need to roll high.
But 26.
Oh, I fucking...
Haha!
You're lethal.
You are killing me, man. Okay, you get to make another attack roll.
So that's against flat-footed.
Yeah, because you caught her flat-footed, she can't use her snake style to deflect that.
10 damage.
Oh, no, she is so low on health now. You stab her in the leg and she buckles a bit, but manages to maintain her stance. She is gonna give this the best she can to take you down now, as there is such unbelievable hatred in her eyes right now.
And I'm smiling.
She's going to try and make a hex strike on you.
Oh dear.
So that's an unarmed attack.
Is that what the kids do nowadays?
Hex strike here.
Hex hand.
What's your AC?
15 AC.
Okay, so you take 7 damage using her little snake style, where she gets all of her fingers, makes it like pointy and goes
Yeah.
and stabs you with it. She does that. It hurts surprisingly hard, and she's going to use
A for effort.
She's going to use the Hex Slumber on you. So you now have to make a will save to stop yourself from falling asleep.
That's a 25-20 will save. Not gonna fall asleep, no.
So pissed off.
You know exactly what she's trying to do, and just so you know, you are pretty much on the verge of unconsciousness yourself anyway from damage, but you didn't fall to the spell, you didn't fall to the stunning fist, and it's your go.
I know what she's gonna do, and I think she believes in herself too much and she thinks that I'll fall asleep, right? So what I'll do is I'll bluff again and play that I'm gonna go to sleep.
Clever.
And then do a sneak attack if I can.
Okay,
Do I get a bonus for that?
I will give you a +2 on that. She'll still make a sense motive check, but like I said, you've got your bonus on that.
That's a 20 total.
Oh, this is...
Come on, man. Come on.
I'm sorry, but everything of her character is stacked into sense motive.
Roll it, roll low.
No.
31.
Oh, so it's just a normal attack then?
It's just a normal attack. She's still on guard. She knows you're faking it.
And that's at 18 total.
This time she gets her immediate action to roll sense motive against your attack roll to block it. And so this time she manages to successfully block your attack. Huh.
Can you push her off the roof?
Wait, she did a sense motive earlier this round already.
Her sense motive was against your bluff. When you try to feign someone, you roll an opposed check against them.
Right, yeah.
What she did was part of her feat, which uses her immediate action. So what she doesn't get attack of opportunities this round now because she's already used that. Unless I gave her combat reflexes. Did I give her that? Would have been smart if I did, but no, I put everything into fucking sense motive. Yeah, because you are as weak as you are, you could pull back a bit and you won't provoke an attack of opportunity.
How much time does a potion drinking take? No, I don't have my potions with me. Anyway, I'll stay next to her.
Well, I'm gonna just ask the others, what are you all doing? Because they've been staying stationary on the rooftop now for about 3 rounds. So that's...
Are we able to catch up with them?
I would have grabbed my bow and ran after them.
Would you have tried to wake Teapot up?
I would have shook her once to see if I could, but then I would move on knowing that I would have to go back.
Roll a heal check to see if you can just overcome the effects of the slumber.
What dice?
D20.
No.
1.
No.
Okay, so no. If you want to catch up, you're going to have to jump out the window, though.
Joy, what do I have to roll?
Well, if you're going to jump out the window, you need to roll an acrobatics check.
Okay, acrobatics, there we go.
Okay, you managed to jump out of the window with all the style and grace that your elven heritage grants you. It's, like, beautiful.
In a night dress.
Snork sheds a tear as to how beautiful that was.
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Snork, I assume you're going to be following?
As well as I can.
Okay.
I say it with optimism, but there's not much hope.
Well, you've got 2 major options, really. You can either jump out the window and chase on foot. As a short race, you're going to be slower than everyone else. Or you could take the time to go get your dog chariot, and it will take you a couple rounds, but when you get it, you'll be able to close the gap very quickly.
Dog chariot.
Okay, so, Snork, are you going to go down the stairs, which will probably take you another few rounds, or are you going to jump out the window?
I got a 10 out the window.
You do manage to make it out the window without catching your foot, but just like
Could I have not
Harlem,
done the whole Zorro thing and whistled the dog cart to underneath the window, jumped into the dog cart and be like... Whoosh.
Wow.
Anyway, you were saying?
A Robin Hood, eh?
you'll take...
6 damage.
Oh my god, man.
You landed on all your fingers simultaneously.
How much hit points do you get? As a sorcerer, it's not a lot.
I'm on 19, I think.
Okay, you're now down to 13. So you jump out of the window. You decide that this would be a great time to whistle your dog chariot because they should be round the corner. The dog eagerly rushes over and waits underneath for you as you come crashing down and land your torso on the edge of the chariot.
Oh, I don't even land in the chariot. I just
You go
next to it.
crunch. You're not in the chariot. You're kind of landed half in it, half out of it.
A few broken ribs.
Oh, spine cracking.
And to add insult to injury,
Dog licks you in the face.
not quite. The sandwich, the pork stuff hits you in the face, having fallen from the window, which of course means Alpheus is able to see the commotion that's happening outside.
As you've landed there, hanging off of your chariot, horribly injured by that. I mean, that's the kind of damage that Barlam can deal with his rapier when you're expecting it, at least. That's the kind of damage you get from a sword, so it hurts like hell.
It can kill people.
And then a bunch of bacon and sausages fall from the window and land on you. And Alpheus, you've heard this commotion and look out the window. You see Frida running off, and Snork kind of bent over his chariot. You're not quite sure what he's doing, but he's covered in pork. How does Jump? What am's the sky?
What? I wonder which will break first, you or your chariot.
You were born it. I made the chariot.
Yeah.
So, Alpheus, what are you gonna do?
Decad Bane!
Alpheus,
Roderick Cube!
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and get run over by your own chariot!
Stay a while and listen. Let's listen to Alpheus. What's Alpheus doing?
Alpheus, please continue.
He doesn't stay a while and listen. He sees everything going on and he decides what fun and tries to jump out the window too.
Is Snuffles coming with you?
Oh god, that's gonna be funny. Woo!
Yeah, Alpheus signals for Snuffles to come with.
Why do I have the image of Alpheus getting Snuffles to jump on his back like a piggyback, then try and jump out the window?
No, what I'm having an
Yes.
image is that he does one of those really awkward dog jumps, like, you know, really spread-eagled, really bad jumps.
Like, you mean like when they're jumping through long grass and like all four legs are stiff and they've just jumped?
Exactly.
Dogs weren't meant to fly.
Chickens can.
Okay, are you carrying Snuffles or is he jumping out on his own accord?
No, he's actually jumping out on his own.
Okay, roll an acrobatics check for both you and Snuffles. So one each.
Alpheus first, 15.
Not bad.
And Snuffles, with his strange character sheet, 18.
You two land with more grace than one would expect from a pair of dogs, and you don't take damage from that fall.
Sweet.
You don't know what's going on, but Frida's going that way.
Alpheus turns to Snork quickly and goes, "What's going on? Should I follow?"
The chicken is just pecking at the pork products curiously.
Oh, that's gross.
It's not eating them, it's just pecking at it curiously.
I know, but it's still gross.
Oh dear.
Graceful jump, though.
Yes. So I guess Alpheus will sniff to see if he can pick up Esme's scent.
Make me a no, that's a tracking scent. Survival.
Okay.
You get, I think you get like a +4 because you're trying to track by scent, and you're a Doge. Snuffles can make the same check, by the way, because he has the same abilities.
Sure. So that's 25 on survival.
You are able to immediately pick up Esme's scent, and you can smell that she ran off and Barlam chased after her.
Okay, so Alpheus realising this follows after the scent, really.
Okay, so that's what the Brain Trust are doing, or the Three Stooges. So we will go back to Barlam and Esmelia. Pretty much both of them are one hit away from being KO'd. It's just a matter of who can get the hit.
Yeah.
So what did you do? Did you pull back or are you still up in her face?
I'm gonna stab her.
All up in your grill, fool.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna stab her, go and make an attack.
Stab time. That's 25. And a critical range because it's 19 and a rapier.
Nice. Okay, roll to confirm.
That's a 23.
I don't even think I have the option of using my special ability with that, so I'm gonna allow it. That's a crit.
So that's just double weapon damage.
You rolled the 5, and you roll another 1d6 to add to it.
Okay, so that's +1, 6 damage.
Okay.
That was the one hit, right?
What do you mean?
So you said she was one hit away.
I said you're both pretty much one hit away.
Oh.
You've dropped her down to single digits.
Oh, come on.
She was designed for the entire party to fight.
Come on. I've done such things that you can't even imagine. I've hit her with a brick.
Dude, you've taken 50 hit points off of her.
Jesus.
Pretty impressive.
Give them back. She needs them.
How is she not dead?
Okay, does she have any healing abilities? I mean, she has witch magic. I think witches get healing spells.
Witches get stitches.
Yay.
Okay, Barlam. She's gonna make a 5-foot step back, and she's going to now try to grab that hourglass that she had last time. Whatever she's doing with it, she's doing it. So you
Okay.
have 1 round to do something about it.
I'm gonna stab her.
She's activated this magic item that last time made her disappear even after you killed her.
Oh, actually, if she gets the ability against attacks on herself, maybe she doesn't get the same on attacks on the objects.
Magic items, though, are very hard to destroy.
No, but just swing it out of her hand.
So a disarm check, you could try the disarm check.
Well, I don't know if she gets that ability against it, or if she even gets that when her hands are full, by the way.
You don't know. You could try it, though.
I'm just gonna attack her.
You're just gonna try kill her?
Yeah, also, if she's 5 feet away, I back up 5 feet, and then I charge at her.
Okay, so you get a +2 to your attack.
That's 18.
She's not in snake stance right now. She was faffing with an item, so that hits.
And if she's using an item, does she get a dex bonus?
Yeah, she's not, like, flat-footed, I'm afraid.
That's 1 damage.
Single digits. Still works.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Any other number. I want to let you have this, man, but You rolled a 1.
Couldn't she, like, trip over?
Yeah, but I also rolled a critical. I did like 5 sneak attacks.
I know.
I threw her a thing in the head, like, there's a limit, man.
She'd be concussed from being hit in the back of the head by a tile. She must be bleeding out, at least.
She's on death's door at this point.
No concussion?
She's full of holes.
Is there no bleeding damage?
No one had a bleeding damage effect. It's not the way the game works.
Can she not be concussed?
Nah.
How likely is it that everyone else is going to catch up with her soon?
You guys were right behind Barlam, so when I had you play that scene, that was right at the beginning of that chase before they made it to the roof. So, okay, that's a good point. Let's do it this way. Everyone is now arriving at the same time. Frida, who had a head start, I will allow to try an acrobatics check to get up onto the roof.
Oh shit, we're on a roof, aren't we?
So I'm rolling another dice.
You roll a d20, and you don't have an acrobatics score.
Oh, I thought I did.
That's not right. You should have a dex bonus on that.
I have a total of 4 in acrobatics.
Okay, you managed to make it up onto the roof. Alpheus, are you going to use Aspect of the Wolf to gain a speed bonus, or are you going as is?
I think he would have used Aspect of the Wolf, because as soon as he would have smelled Esme, he would have felt there was trouble afoot, so...
Okay, so despite being the last one to get going, you're moving at 60-foot base speed, so I will let you also make a check to get onto the roof. You can go acrobatics or climb, whichever you want.
This is a no-brainer for me, climb. It's better than my acrobatics.
Is it like one of those awkward dog climbs?
That's not right. You don't get a plus 45. Silly Ed. Okay, just roll the d20 and we'll add 2 to it.
Yeah, sure. Whereas acrobatics is like -4.
Because your armor. Actually, you probably aren't wearing your armor right now.
15.
Which also, if you're not wearing your armor, your penalty on climb is reduced. So yeah, you'll be able to get up easy enough. And Snork, you took a bit of time trying to fix yourself up after, your horrible landing. So you'll be arriving, but you'll be on the ground. You can see everyone getting onto the roof as Barlam and this halfling that you've never seen before are fighting each other bitterly and bloodily, seemingly to the death, and everyone else is just getting onto the roof. You're on your chariot and you've got spells. So what we'll do is we will roll an initiative round and see how this plays out. We get 1 round before whatever Esme was doing kicks in.
Sweet.
Everyone?
So Barlam, you can roll initiative as well on this and we will see.
25.
9.
9.
So Joe, roll the d20.
Okay.
That's 5.
So your initiative, Joe, is...
Well.
7 for Peter.
It makes sense considering what happened.
Dear me.
He's not in his best element.
Okay.
Oh, you guys, she is first.
She is tied with Alpheus. So Barlam and Frida get to go first.
So,
You nicked her with your rapier there. Her magic hourglass is charging up, and she's basically trying to defend herself now, waiting for whatever it does.
Can I launch a bow at her?
You have to wait. It's not your turn.
Wait, you wanted to launch your bow?
so basically, how far is Frida?
Frida, she's made it onto a rooftop. I'll let her decide how close she wants to be. Joe?
Yeah?
How far are you?
I guess I'll be on the roof opposite, I guess.
A good place for an archer to be, so yeah, there you go. There's a building across the street where she's gotten herself to. She's knocking an arrow into her bow and trying to give you covering fire.
Do I get sneak attack from that?
No, she's not close enough.
Well, I'll still try to do,
You can still try to feint. I mean,
Yeah.
you go against her sense motive, but it's always worth trying.
Yeah. Actually, I think a better feint, as it were, would be if we're still on a tile roof, right?
Yeah.
So basically, if I could make her slip just a bit and not have her use her sense motive against my, thingy. If I'm going to distract her otherwise, like trying to make her slip, like removing one of the tiles under her, like kicking it while attacking.
Okay, that sort of thing's typically a CMB, and that would be a standard action. I'll let you do this, see how it goes. So you're rolling bluff against her sense motive to see if you can not give her a flat-footed penalty, but negate her from using her snake stance.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll allow that.
that's 27.
Oh, 33. You can still make an attack.
This is way too much of a sense motive to me.
Yes, you've complained about it and I've explained it to you before.
Yeah, and I still don't accept it.
You don't have to accept it, you just have to put up with it.
24 attack, then that's on crit range because of rapier.
Oh, if you can score a crit, I'm not going to be able to roll against you, so try again.
That's 25.
Yeah, that's a crit. 2d6.
Sorry, 1d6 more because I already rolled 3 damage on that roll, so that's a total of 6 damage.
Okay, that's it. She falls unconscious. So you manage to stab her with her rapier as she drops to the ground. The magical item still whirling and twirling, getting ready to activate. You've used your actions there. So Frida, you're up next. You've just seen Esme dropped unconscious by Barlam, who is on death's door himself, and that magic item she had last time that allowed her to escape is in the middle of activating, so you can do something.
But it's not in her hands anymore.
It's on her person.
Okay. Can I not use my move action to shove it off of her person?
I basically let you make a bluff check to negate a feat, so
Right.
I'm just going to say that your turn has been used up, because we're playing fast and loose here.
Yeah.
Alpheus does have the same initiative turn as her, and he climbed up presumably onto your roof, so you've got Alpheus and Frida who can act right as the magic item is going.
Then I'll use my free action to shout, get that thing off of her.
That's fine.
Ow, I'm not anywhere near, I'm in the roof opposite.
I'll let anyone do that, not just you. Or if you have any magic that can do that.
I'm looking at magic and I don't think I have anything.
I can do magic missile.
I'm afraid that your turn order was so slow that
Can you throw a rock at something and knock it out of her hand because she's unconscious?
Well,
All I've got is alter winds to blow things.
Blow it out of her hand.
you could try to knock it with an arrow, like shoot it off of her body.
Okay, that's all I can do, so let me just... Nope.
Nope. Okay. You see Frida panicking, trying to figure out, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Sod it, I'll shoot an arrow. And the arrow just kind of shoots over your head. And you go, where the hell was that going?
Let's be a bit more, gritty here. What's your actual attack bonus?
Let's think. Attack...
Dex plus basic attack bonus.
It's +5.
So 11. What's the AC on the item itself?
She's prone, so you take a penalty to your ranged attack when shooting a prone target.
No, but the item is not prone.
It's a small object, so that counts as a called shot, which is another penalty.
Okay.
Again, I'm not calculating the exact maths, we're just doing this loose. I cannot see an 11 hitting. She's trying to hit an hourglass that's on a body on the floor across the street. She gets a chance to make the shot, but it's not going to be an easy one.
Yeah, it's done already. Just move on.
So, Alpheus, you're up.
So Alpheus watches the arrow miss and decides he's going to use his sling.
How far away is he?
You sure? You have a 60-foot movement speed
Yeah.
right now.
You can just sprint to him and, snatch it off.
Are we on the same roof?
Yeah, I assume.
Oh, I thought it was on Frida's roof.
Kick it out her hand.
You could dance to it. I mean, you've got such a movement speed right now because of your aspect of the wall.
Just slam it to the pavement, man.
Oh yeah, screw that. Yeah, I'll just run forward and boot it as hard as possible, as if it was some kind of American football or rugby ball or a ball in general.
Like a sports thing.
Yeah.
It is attached to a chain that's attached to her belt, so you will have to spend your entire round doing this because you've got to basically take it off of her belt and then boot it.
Oh.
You declothing a child.
You can do it, but you're going to be manhandling a child to get it. She's not a child, she's actually a fully grown female halfling.
Alpheus shrugs and does that.
You do it, okay, you drop kick it. What would you guys say that is? Just
Acrobatics?
Just throw it.
No, I think it's just, taking a thing off of an unconscious person and throwing it to the pavement.
yeah, you're just throwing it. So roll a strength check to see how far you throw it.
Okay.
53. Is that enough?
There's something really going wrong with your character sheet.
Apparently so.
Oh my God.
D20, just roll a D20, add 3.
Yep. Alpheus just gained super muscles there. 10. Yeah.
Okay, you throw it off the roof, and Snork, you watch from the ground as this ancient and extremely powerful artifact comes falling towards you, and then bamfs. It disappears into a puff of magic into time and space. God only knows where it ended up.
What about the halfling?
The halfling didn't disappear. You disconnected it from her body. She is bleeding to death, and since it's her turn, she gets to make a saving throw, unless you guys are just going to coup de grace her anyway, but...
I'm coup de grace her right away.
Okay,
just stabbing her through the eye.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like her.
And with that, you managed to kill quite a high-level NPC. You weren't supposed to have a straight-on fight with her yet.
Yeah, but I threw a brick at her head.
Got rid of the bitch.
She got roof tiled.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. I've just found her healing ability.
Too late now.
Too late.
Shit.
Too late. Well, okay. I'll grant you that if you grant me that, because I used a character who got like one of his weapons, didn't use like any potions, lower level. So I can say I at least tried my hardest.
Oh my god, no, you kicked the shit out of her. You fully won that. If I forgot to use an ability, that's my fault, not yours.
And I said that for Alpheus. I kind of said that thing so that he could kick it off like Charlie Brown, but actually kick it.
Yep, it was epic teamwork, you guys. You guys managed to kick the shit out of an NPC so much higher level than you guys. Well done.
You beat the shit out of a kid. Well done.
She went smush.
Smush.
What do we do with the blood?
With the blood?
Yeah.
I better check what item she has on her in case you loot her.
Yeah, I'm gonna loot her right away.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have weapons, she doesn't have armor. I assume she'll have some magic knickknacks, but all I gave her was the artifact which you booted off the roof and then teleported back in time. I will have to get back to you on that because she doesn't have any items on her character sheet.
As a precaution, since she's got saying it's gone back in time and there's no one holding it, could I have found it previously before the adventure?
That would be amazing.
So like I just randomly in the middle of the forest, ooh, look at this. And I have just an hourglass. Now we've gone all Terminator on it.
No, but it still exists in the world, so there's every chance that it will come back later.
It could have come back now.
I would not worry about it because that lady is dead as a brick, which I threw at her.
Do you like the representation there on the map?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
well,
I'll actually take that brick I used against her, or the shards off, as a memoir.
I think you mean Memento?
This is a good tile. I'll build a house out of it.
so well done, guys.
Okay.
So, how does everyone react to this?
I'll drink a potion. I'll drink a toast. A potion toast. He doesn't recover fully, but he's like, that's better. A stiff drink and a good night's sleep will do it.
Sounds good.
And I'll spit on her.
Kick her a bit.
I just take a sigh of relief.
I just get onto the roof and see a dead person.
Alpheus is quite shocked by the fact that Barlin has just killed this girl, but literally all he's thinking about is how to cover up the body.
Didn't expect you guys to actually fight her and kill her.
Always expect the unexpected.
Let that be a lesson to other DMs. If you think your recurring boss is going to escape, they probably won't. Players are quite tenacious.
I just call it the power of not taking any shits.
Here's a quick intermission where we roll dice to find out what we get for loot. You're missing, not much. Now back to the game.
So, I made everyone roll for random loot,
Yeah.
and now I will state what everyone found.
Woohoo!
First of all, Snork.
Yes!
As everyone's dealing with the body, you decided to take Esme's shoes off of her.
Foot fetish, what can I say?
Take a boat.
Take down the magic shoes from the witch.
She is a witch, and they are magic shoes, so that is fairly apt.
Are they red?
Red high heels.
Yeah. Stilettos.
Please, can they be?
Oi, take that, kid's boots.
Snork wearing red stilettos. Someone needs to draw this. A little goblin wearing red sparkly stilettos.
That's just your fetish.
You know what? Fine. It was gonna be like the kind of martial arts slippers, because she was part monk. But no, you've stolen these bright red, sparkling high heels.
Nice.
They're magic, and their effect is quite unusual considering that they're high heels.
She got caught at the wrong moment in time when she was at a ball, you know.
No, but I was thinking more like, Converse sneakers, like, she's rooftop runner, so, yeah.
Yes, so given that you have Detect Magic, High Spellcraft Check, and the Identify spell, I'm not going to make you roll for these, so I'm just going to tell you what they are. These are, well, they were the Acrobat slippers. I guess they're now the Acrobat's high heels.
That makes it even better.
Acro goblins, not acrobats.
We're calling them Heels of the Acrobat.
All I can think of is I've actually just taken her feet off and taken the heels off the actual feet.
Oh.
Like skinning her almost. Healed her.
That effect that it will have on your bootsy and how it looks is going to be splendid.
So am I wearing them over the top of my boots? I'm trying to put my little feet into them.
No, you'd have to take your boots off and put the high heels on.
Alright, okay.
What it does is it enables you to maintain your dex bonus to your AC when climbing, running, or using the acrobatics skill to move on narrow surfaces or uneven ground.
In all fairness, I can use the stiletto to dig it in, quite literally, into the walls and stuff when climbing, so it's almost like a pick.
That's brilliant.
Essentially, it seems like the magic of these heels enable the wearer to be able to walk perfectly in heels, even if they've not had any experience in it.
Nice.
In addition, you gain a +2 bonus to your combat maneuver defense against trip maneuvers and on reflex saves to avoid falling, which includes falling prone.
All I can think
So
about now is this little goblin holding heels in his hand and using the stiletto as like ice picks to try and climb the walls.
This is why we cannot have nice things. Literally. Again, goblins. Goblins are the source of every point of misery.
So yes, these high heels, despite the fact that heels normally make people more prone to falling over, these make you less prone to falling over.
It's all this, modern day RPG, and the women wear really thin, cladded armour, and that's where I've got it from. I've nicked her armour.
Modern day, they've been doing that shit since the first edition.
Yeah, exactly.
All you need is a chainmail bikini.
Why would she wear normal shoes when she can wear heels and look the part?
To be fair, she was also batshit crazy, so it doesn't need to make sense.
So, yeah.
That is even better.
Okay, moving on to hopefully more sane people of the group, which unfortunately is Alpheus. Not much luck there.
Do I win cheese?
You notice that she's wearing a very nice cloak with flecks of silver and steel that sewn amid the fabrics. This is a cloak of resistance +1. It basically grants your +1 to your reflex, your will, and your fortitude.
Awesome. So Alpheus gets a shiny new cloak.
Yep, and Snork gets shiny new shoes.
Woohoo!
So flash.
Shouldn't the cloak be like a drag queen cloak? Like one of those with very kind of fluffy kind of... What do they call it?
Fur lining,
Yeah, almost like Christmas tree decoration stuff.
like tinsel.
Yeah, tinsel, yeah. If we're going with the theme,
Alpheus, do you want your cloak of resistance to be like tinsel?
If we're going with a teen.
I think I know what you mean, and yes, with that sort of fluffy edge thing going on, yes.
Of like a silvery colour.
Yeah.
Alright?
Yep.
Fair enough. That's the aesthetic choice you're going for. You look fucking fabulous, mate.
Amazing.
Okay, Frida, you notice that even though she wasn't wearing a hat at the time, she does have one on her. It's a floppy, shapeless cloth hat that is actually magical.
I just look at it like, what?
Yeah, it's almost like a witch's hat, but it's kind of a bit like the inner wiring that props it up has been removed, so it's just kind of like a really sagging, sad witch's hat.
So it's a black version of the sorting hat.
Yeah, kind of like that. That's pretty good description. And this is a buffering cap. Once per day, when struck by a critical hit, the wearer can spend an immediate action to convert the bonus damage of the critical hit into non-lethal damage.
Ooh.
So essentially what it allows you to do is if you get hit by a crit, you can choose to turn it into non-lethal damage. So if it would knock you out, it won't kill you and you won't be bleeding to death on the floor waiting for your party to save you. You'll still be unconscious from non-lethal damage, but it's far less lethal.
So she already used this today.
No, she didn't. She wasn't wearing it for some reason. She just kind of had it on her.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
That's what a lot of bosses do, by the way. Like, I had this magic sword, but I just didn't want to use it today.
I have a magic sword that's really useful against rogues, but I wasn't using it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really useful against the creatures you'll fight in the future, but I did not use it against you.
She's batshit crazy. Why would she think practically?
So now I have a hat that'll go with my outfit. A saggy black hat.
Yep.
I guess that works.
Is your outfit otherwise saggy and black? Your outfit.
The dress is nicer, but I'm already in black.
I thought you were wearing green or something.
No, my dress is black.
Fair enough.
Dark enough green is really close to black.
Yeah. And finally, Barlam, you'll probably be very happy with this. You take her gloves from her. They're a supple beige calf skin glove, and you realise that they basically grant a +5 bonus on sleight of hand checks.
Okay.
They're gloves of larceny.
Huh.
I heard that as gloves of arsony.
Yep.
Well, I can show you that, with other items.
Ooh.
So +5 sleight of hand.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm better at the sleights.
Yep, so that's actually extremely useful to you, given that you are a rogue.
+12 to sleights.
And finally, between the group of you, you also find one last thing. It's a large, heavy orb-like object that's wrapped up in a pitch-black velvet bag. You don't know what the orb inside looks like, and can only tell it's an orb by the shape and feel of it.
Huh.
It's a very round head.
Alpheus sniffs the bag.
Smells like velvet.
Okay, it's a velvet bag. That's a good bag.
Because the bag that the orb is in is velvet. And you know that most fabrics have a kind of smell to them. That's what it smells like new velvet.
Velvety goodness.
Velveteen.
I pull the velvet off and just look at it.
Thank you. Inside the sack is a crystal ball. It is heavy to hold, but those of you who might have seen one of these before in the hands of a fortune teller, probably Barlam and Snork, you notice that something is quite off with this one. A typical crystal ball will have some kind of small light or aura wisping around inside of it, but this one seems to have a storm raging within, a black swirling tempest with blues and purples mixed into it. It seems to keep moving and changing motion seemingly at random. So Snork, you were the one who decided to take it out and look at it. Can you roll me a will save, please?
But I stand away about 20 feet.
Same.
Nah, Alpheus is next to Snork.
That's what differentiates a dog and a man.
I'm standing with Barlam now.
My will's plus... What's
Your will should be pretty good, because I think that's the core skill of the sorcerer. You got a +4 in it, so 21. Given that you've been around magic and magic items quite a lot over the years, you are able to recognize that this orb is trying to compel you to look deeper within it. There is like a magical force that seems to be pulling you towards it, and as you get closer to looking at it and you realize this, you're able to quickly shove it back in the bag before anything else can happen. So you don't know what's going on with this orb, but you do know that it really wants to pull you in to look at it, and you got a very bad feeling about that.
It's one of the Palantirs.
Huh. How quaint.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about you.
I have a bad feeling about this situation.
I've got a bad feeling about your feeling assessment.
I have a bad feeling.
I feel bad.
I do too.
Anyway.
Snork, what do you want to do with this orb?
I put it in my sack.
Alright.
Did it not affect anybody else, or was it just me? Because I was looking.
You were the one who took it out.
Right.
And looked at it. If you kept it out long enough, Alpheus would have had a chance, but you were quick enough to put it away before he had to make a save. Snork, make a perception check real quick.
+3. 23.
Okay, yeah, this is an adult halfling female. You thought for a second that they might have just murdered a child, but no. There will be no cases of you mistaking her for an actual child.
I'd never stoop so low. She's the one who stooped low, because she's short.
That was terrible.
Yeah, my jokes are best right after I killed people.
See, Esme came back then.
Yeah, she did. She tried to kill Frida, and one of her assassins tried to kill me, and I assume by the smell that hangs by Alpheus that she tried to feed the dog, but he didn't eat it. Am I right?
Yes, Mother Saggy came and tried to feed me again.
Yes, and by seeing the discharge of sausage and meats on the, pavement earlier...
Well, there's a slather of bacon still hanging from Snork's ear.
Yeah, so Snork more likely ate it than you. So after the thing, I say, good doggy.
Alpheus pants at that happily.
And I give like a fatherly smile. Good dog.
I did good.
And you kick the ball or the artifact.
Yay.
Yeah, so it's been like a play at the park with the dog, basically.
Yep, a little bit of bacon, a bit of murder. Yeah, good time out for the family.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
think
it's
so.
been a good evening.
It's been a rather good evening, sir, hasn't it?
Oh, you've had a good evening without me. Yeah.
I could do with a glass of brandy and get a good night's sleep now then. Yeah, see? And a rather good book.
You're very, very drunk.
Oh, very, very drunk. Very, very drunk.
Drunk at the time, yes.
Yeah, what are you guys going to do about the body?
Leave it on the roof.
I'm going to go to bed.
Not our problem.
Frida, Alpheus, are you going to leave this corpse here?
I don't know what to do.
We could sell it for parts.
Just take it to the mortuary.
Throw in the river.
I know, but wouldn't there be questions?
Nah.
Yeah, maybe burning it's best.
Yeah, burn it. I jump off the roof.
Blame the librarian.
I need to return the ashes to her family anyway.
What? Why?
Because I knew her family.
Right, whatever you do, don't get entangled with the police. And I slide off the roof and get back to bed.
Bye-bye.
Okay. See you soon, Snork.
I'm not going to jump this time.
Stay safe, kids. Yeah, me neither. I'm just gonna slide like, I have a hurt leg, so I'm just gonna slide away.
They go off to get drunk.
No, I'll go to get sleep.
Okay, flaming sphere it is.
Can't I use clean up skeleton?
Clean up skeleton.
It's not a skeleton, it's a fresh corpse. It's been there for 1 minute.
Oh no, I have a spell that removes the flesh from a corpse.
There's a spell called Decomposed Corpse or something like that.
Yes, decomposed corpse. Yes, I can do that.
Did you prepare Decomposed Corpse this morning? When you were meditating on nature and going, my, how lovely nature is. I wish it could give me some magic to decompose corpses. Is that what you did?
She might have had just amazing foresight.
That's what I'm saying. It's possible, but
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Is there a way to use a spell I wouldn't have thought of?
Oh, come on, that's like a story thing. I would totally allow that.
Let's see.
Well, Alpheus does have flaming sphere on him.
Yeah,
Can I not just burn
No, we're on a roof. We're on a roof. No fire.
that's the best place to let out smoke.
Shit, I was actually hoping he would.
Is there a way for me to give up my spells for the day, so I can use decomposed corpse?
If you're willing to meditate for an hour, you can switch your slots around.
Yeah.
How can we wait around for an hour with a corpse?
No, but you can do like a wake on the roof.
In all fairness, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, just stay on the roof with it.
Okay.
If you put a cover on it and just hide, no one will notice you there.
Okay, Alpheus, can you get a sheet? A dark sheet so you can cover this.
A dog shit.
one dog shit coming right up.
A dark sheet.
Oh,
Bed
okay.
sheet. And I will remove the flesh and turn this into a skeleton.
Fine. Alpheus pulls out a blanket from his pack.
And then you just give the bones to Snuffles.
Oh,
No and no.
it's getting darker by the minute.
But yeah, I'll turn it into a skeleton and put it in a bag.
Yeah, it will take you an hour to do. During that time, you can spend your time cleaning the blood off of the roof if you like, whilst it's still fresh.
Yeah, with crate water.
Yeah, and I assume Alpheus is helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically I've bagged up the bones and taken it back.
I'm washing blood off my beard and hands.
Okay, you return to the inn an hour later than everyone else. The others have gotten themselves cleaned up quite nicely. Have you gone to bed, or are you just having a few drinks?
No, I'm basically going to bed.
I'm asking if Barnum and Snork have gone to bed.
Oh, I've enjoyed a brandy and gone to bed after washing blood off myself. Stop snoring. Good. That's a good dog. You're a Dublin.
Or is that technically Beaker snoring?
Yeah, so a good night's sleep. I'm actually having a really good night's sleep because I've killed one of my nemesis.
Okay, Frida and Alpheus, you return to the tavern. I assume you're sneaking in as not to wake anyone up. Is there anything you want to do before bed?
No.
Probably get out this now muddy and bloody nightgown.
No, Alpheus just goes straight upstairs to his room to sleep with Snuffs.
So I'm now probably sleeping naked with my clothes soaking in a bucket.
Oh my. Fan artists, get on that.
Would they be called fartists?
Okay, so then Barlam is sleeping naked too. Get on that, artist.
Does that mean when I was outside he was naked?
No.
Just a scene where, I'm like Geralt of Rivia from Witcher, doing like, all handsome, chores before going to bed. So yeah, he just turned into Geralt suddenly. Hunting monsters.
Oh, Witcher.
Oh, Witcher. Watcher.
Oh, what you doing here, Witcher?
What you watching here, Witcher?
Oh, bugger.
Okay, you'll manage to have as restful a sleep as you can after what had happened. Barnum having the best sleep of his life.
Ah, yes.
Frida probably not so much. And Alpheus, don't know how you're feeling. I mean, you did throw away some delicious sausages.
He was a good dog.
He feels accomplished.
And what about Snork? How does Snork feel?
Snork sleeps like a baby with their butts in the air.
Does Alpheus get like a special ability, like, inspired special ability Dragon Age style after I call him a good dog finally? Like a relationship bonus.
Yes, it's going to help you in your final mission so that he won't die.
Oh yeah, nice. Like loyalty bonus.
You've completed his loyalty sub-quest.
Ding. Achievement unlocked.
Now he won't die in the suicide mission.
Ooh, very nice. And the others will? Yes.
You've also got to make sure you gather enough resources so your cart doesn't explode.
Oh man, enough palladium.
Joe has absolutely no idea what the hell we're referencing.
Nope.
It's got the words ass and effects in it.
I was thinking more mess effect.
Mess effect.
Just like Snork sleeping with his ass in the air, it's an ass effect.
Okay. Now got these bag of bones, and I'm gonna ask Barlam, do you know anywhere in a city where I can get these bones turned into ashes? So
I think I've got a better idea before we do that.
Fire!
As I mumble half asleep. So basically, I've heard that some priests can talk to the dead if they have their bones. So now, when she's dead, we can actually interrogate her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was my plan all along.
Tormenting the dead. Nice.
Exactly. She was tormenting us with actual fucking artifacts of power. So I think it's fair play now.
Okay, but I would like to have the bones turned into ashes so I can return her to her family at some point.
Okay, so let's do that in the morning.
Okay.
I'm talking to him in the morning, not at night.
Oh, right. I thought you came to me in the night and be like,
No,
Barlam, Barlam.
I'm not going to creep up to you naked and in your bedroom, am I? That's just weird.
You never know.
Like, Barlam, what about these bones?
Get on that, fan artists.
Keep in mind she's 17.
It's gross.
Vikings used to marry at 13. We're alright here.
If we're setting up to go interrogate her corpse and go to the library, that seems like a good place to end for the session.
Yes.
So yes, congratulations everyone on taking out what was intended to be a recurring character.
Woohoo!
That's one of my fetishes in life, to take down recurring monologue spewing characters.
Have a fetish for that.
They're annoying.
Yeah, she was given an artifact and everything to make sure that she could keep coming back after you killed her, and you still managed to do it.
Yeah, and like a plus 20 in sense motive or something, and a class which was based on sense motive.
Snork provided the comedy relief.
Yeah, Snork did the don't try this at home acrobatics jump. Like, hold my beer
Even Snork.
for all the Imgur or Reddit.
Don't worry, you'll get your chance to shine.
A goblin shining.
Yes, he has fire magic, so he can light up your life.
I can light the way.
And with that, I would like to thank everyone for listening and everyone else for playing.
Thank you.
Yes, so until next time, see you all later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ding dong, the Esme's dead. Thank goodness for that. My name's Edgar and you're listening to some post-podcast credits. In chronological order, we have Bing Bang Bonk by Dave James and Keith Beauvais, followed by Jazz Funk by Stefsax Awel. Then we have The Jazz Piano by BenSound, Smooth Jazz by GeeMee, Thunderbird by Kevin MacLeod, Run by Ross Bugden, Moonlight Hall by Kevin MacLeod, Danger Ahead by Sergey Gdanian, Jazz in Paris for the Random Intermission by Meteorite Productions, and Private Reflection by Kevin MacLeod. The SFX are by the Guild of Ambience, the Soundeffects, and myself. The Tavern crowd specifically is by eitiltdireach, spelt eitiltdireach. Most tracks are free to use or have had some payment for usage, and some fall under a Creative Commons CC BY NC ND license. Steve, say some final words.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to the Band of Brothers podcast. If you enjoyed the show and want to be really awesome, please leave a review to let others know how much you enjoyed it. We're still a really small podcast, so this will help us get noticed by more people and help us grow. You can also spread the love by tweeting about us using the Band of Brothers hashtag, and let all your followers know about how awesome or stupid you think we are. Fun fact, I am really bad at coming up with names for the NPC characters, so if anyone leaves a review or tweets about us using that hashtag, I'll be sure to name an NPC after you, so that way you too can be a part of this game. If you'd like to message us directly about either Band of Brothers or Charisma Check, please email us at bandofbotherspodcast@gmail.com. That's bandofbotherspodcast@gmail.com, all one word. You can also find us in most forms of social media under the name Band of Brothers or Band of Brothers Podcast. Links will be in the description for the episode. So from me and the rest of the Band of Brothers cast, thank you for listening and goodbye. At a certain place, at a certain point in time, an elderly woman stands before a circle of stones. She is withered and ancient looking, and calmly watches on the circle, counting down to herself 3, 2, 1. As soon as she reaches 0, the circle lights up with arcane energy, illuminating the fields all around her as the darkness of the night is pushed back by the sheer intensity of the light coming from the arcane power. She shields her eyes and waits for the light to fade. Once she turns her gaze back to the circle, she's expecting to see the halfling Esmelia, who appeared here several times before, but she is shocked to see that no one is there but the strange hourglass with a portion of the cosmos contained within. The crone lets out a remorseful sigh and hobbles over to pick up the hourglass. Well then, it would seem we have failed. She looks up into the star-filled sky and reflects upon the recent events for a while. Whatever happens to your soul after death, I pray that the heavens have mercy and you are finally at peace, my dear apprentice. You have had such a difficult life, and much of it was my fault. I am so sorry, poor Esmelia. I should never have shown you the face of it. You just weren't ready, and it broke you. But I promise you that your death will not be in vain, and I will finish what we both started. Saggith carefully opens up the top of the hourglass and takes a dagger from her belt and then slices her hand, dripping the blood into the cosmos that is contained within. As she does this, Saggith chants a deep and ancient incantation which slowly causes the blood to mix into the nebula, turning it from a beautiful wispy green into a deep blood red. And soon the stars within can turn red as well. Once complete, Saggith seals the hourglass and turns it upside down. She closes her eyes and waits for the blood-red cosmos to sink to the other side. As this happens, a miraculous feat occurs. The light from the hourglass shifts and swirls around itself and around Saggith, with every star, every bit of black space, and every drop of this nebula that falls into the section below. Saggith's body grows younger and younger. Her wrinkles soften and her skin grows tighter around her body. Her structure improves as the ravages of age begin to unwind, allowing her to stand taller without her hunch. Her hair starts to regain its colour and volume, the wispy white strands becoming a full luxurious head of raven black hair. By the time the last specks fall into the lower half of the hourglass, Saggith looks to be in her early 20s, beautiful, young, and full of vigour. "Oh, how I have missed this," she says, running her hands through her long black hair. "Now, I think it is time I change into something a bit less senior citizen. And then we will begin the hunt for my next accomplice." And with that, her eyes drift over to a tall and magnificent oak tree standing alone in a field not too far from the lake. The corruption has yet to spread that far, but it is only a matter of time, and so a smile forms on her soft and supple lips before she disappears into the night.